Hey, what's up guys, Social Knows Best here. The Samsung Galaxy S9 and the S9 Plus have been officially announced by Samsung, and we can finally start talking about these phones. And I say finally because I was able to get a first-hand impressions on both of these phones. And so the first thing is that the overall look and feel of these new S9s are similar to the S8s, but they have made a couple changes. One of those is that they removed the Galaxy branding off the back of the phone for a little bit more cleaner look. And then two, which is the biggest, is that they relocated the fingerprint scanner and put it centrally located on the back of the phone underneath the camera instead of next to it like it was last year. So you have less of a chance to accidentally put your finger on the camera when you're reaching for the fingerprint scanner. So this is already a huge improvement. So shout out to Samsung for listening to people when they complained about it. And then it's just some other little things like the speaker grill is a little bit different. But when you do pick up this Galaxy S9, it's going to feel very similar to the Galaxy S8. And some people may be disappointed that they didn't change the overall look of the phone that much, but most people are going to be putting cases on it anyway, in my opinion. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. But let's go ahead and take a look at the internal specs, and this is where Samsung spent most of its time improving the Galaxy S9. And so the first thing is that these phones are going to be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 platform. So with the processors and everything that goes into really making the phone be able to tick and be able to muster through all those different tasks and things you're throwing at it, it's going to be coming from that particular chipset. And then also too, the Samsung Galaxy S9 is going to have 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the S9 Plus is going to have 6 gigabytes of RAM, and they're both going to be coming with 64 gigabytes of storage, and they both will have micro SD card slots. But the one new thing with that is that both of these phones can support micro SD cards up to 400 gigabytes of storage, which is an insane amount, but you can do it if you really want to. And the S9 will have a 3000 milliamp battery, and the S9 Plus will have a 3500 milliamp battery, and both of them will support wired and wireless fast charging. Now, when it comes to the displays, both of these have the same specs as they were on the Galaxy S8 lineup. So the Galaxy S9 is going to have a 5.8-inch Quad HD curved Super AMOLED display, and then the S9 Plus is going to have all that same stuff I just said, but just coming in a little bit bigger at 6.2 inches. And for all of those wondering, the headphone jack is making a return in both of these phones, and that Bixby button is coming back as well. We'll see how that turns out. But speaking of audio, both of these phones now will have stereo speakers, which do sound louder than the S8. They did a nice demonstration to show that off. And also these speakers will be supporting the Dolby Atmos format. So you'll be able to have a more immersive experience when you listen to content that works with that. So it'll sound like sounds are coming from your left and right and a little bit around you. But those are just the main technical specs as far as the internals and things like that about these new phones. But now let's get to what we are really going to be concerned with and what Samsung is talking about the most with these new S9s, and that is the camera. Now, both of these phones feature an 8 megapixel front-facing camera with an aperture f1.7, and then on the rear, you're going to find a new camera on both of these phones, and this is going to be their dual-pixel 12 megapixel camera that has optical image stabilization, but also a variable aperture. And this means that the camera is going to be able to automatically switch between f1.5 and f2.4. And so this should allow the phone to better adapt to whatever lighting condition you're in, whether you're outside or indoors. And we weren't able to take the phones outside, but just the couple shots and videos that I took indoors, I was pretty impressed with them. They do look really good, but I'm really waiting to get these phones in-house so I can really do some more testing and compare it against other phones on the market like the Pixel 2 and also the iPhone 10. Now, you probably noticed that the S9 Plus has one extra camera, and that is a 12 megapixel telephoto lens that comes in at f2.4. And now you can take live focus photos, or basically portrait mode photos, and blur out that background similar to what you can do on the Note 8. And now the front-facing camera does have one new trick up its sleeve, and that's called AR Emoji, and you can probably guess what this is in response to, but this allows you to use the front-facing camera to make an emoji character out of yourself, and it'll scan your face, but then once it finally scans it, you'll be able to dress up your character, change the clothes, hairstyles, and things like that. And then now you can be able to use a bunch of different preset animations if you wanted to, and so you can share these across all your different social media platforms, or you can just open up the camera app and then record yourself saying something and then send it in a text message. And so now with AR emojis on the Galaxy S9, we have the Animojis on the iPhone 10. It looks like it's going to be the battle of the emojis in 2018. So we'll see if this actually catches on. Some other things that the cameras can do is that they can record 4K video up to 60 frames per second. And also they have a new super slow-mo mode. Yes, a super slow-mo mode, which allow you to record video at 960 frames per second. It's pretty amazing. And so I did test this out indoors in not so great lighting conditions, footage, but you can see that it does work very well. And one cool thing about this is that the camera will automatically detect when something fast is happening on screen. So as I was twisting it, it was waiting for something to happen, and as soon as it popped open, that's when it slowed it down in the video. So you don't need to go do this in post where, like on the iPhone, you have to kind of slide for that right moment and adjust it. It would be regular speed, and then boom, as soon as something fast happens, it will automatically slow it down, and then once that event stops, it'll go ahead and go back into regular speed. And then the software will have different presets that will allow you to change up these slow motion videos. Like you can play it back in reverse, which is a cool effect. So I really can't wait to test this out a lot more, especially outside. And then speaking of software, this phone is going to be shipping with Android 8 Oreo on this phone. Of course, Samsung has their own skin and UI that they put on top of it. And just in my brief time that I had with the OS, I really didn't see any major changes from what I'm currently using on the Galaxy S8. So don't expect anything major with that, but we'll see if there are any other things that they change with that once I get it in hand. And one last tidbit is that Samsung is also launching a new Samsung Dex Doc. And Samsung Dex basically allows you to plug in your phone to a computer, and then it'll give you a desktop experience. And so I like the fact that this new dock allows your phone to lay flat, and you can also use your phone as a trackpad with your finger. And then when you need to input something, you can pull up a keyboard on the phone to type some text out. So this allows you not to have to carry around a mouse or a keyboard. You just need to be able to plug this into a TV or the monitor to start using it. So I haven't really used Samsung Dex that much, but this is going to be a good time for me to get into it and check it out even more. And so these are the new Galaxy S9s. The S9 will cost you $720, and the S9 Plus will run you $840. And pre-orders for these phones start March the 2nd, and these phones will officially be launching on March the 16th. And if you're trying to save some money, Samsung is doing a trade-in program where you can trade in your iPhone 10, your S8, S7, and other phones, and you can get up to $350 off. So that'll be a good way to try to save some money. But other than that, guys, again, I'm waiting for these phones to come in. I can't wait to really be able to test them out fully. But right now, I want you to leave your comment down below what you think about these phones, and I really can't wait to get these phones in hand so I can do even more testing, more benchmarking and stuff like that with these phones to see how they stack up against the rest of the competition. But until that day happens, make sure you do subscribe to me here on YouTube and hit that little notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. And also be sure to follow me on all my social media networks. Those links are down below as well. And like always, I want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.